Now, I remember it so vividly. Christmas time in the cold mountainlands of the Philippines, well, relatively colder, I get a whiff of the sweet, sharp scent of the pine trees as I look back into the path of footprints that I left behind as the rain started to pour. Now, it was just over a year ago where I was just like you, completely unaware of the effects of my actions on the world, and obsessing over the idea of obtaining material wealth. While driving around the impoverished urban landscape of Manila, I realized some things seemed to never change. Piles of garbage just seemed to get higher and higher. It seemed like there was just no limit to how high it could actually go. And that made me ask myself, why hasn't anyone done anything about this? And what is the solution to this issue? Well, it wasn't until April 2022 when I actually experienced a shift in my own perspective, when I had the opportunity to visit Tuminugan Farm in Bukidnon, Philippines. Tuminugan Farm is a farm that is actively engaging in sustainable practices and educating the youth on permaculture. Permaculture is a practice of using our natural landscape in order to create a self-sufficient and sustainable ecosystem. This is unlike modern practices where we completely maul apart the natural landscape and create one flat land of one single crop. Now, my time in Bukidnon was eye-opening. It was eye-opening to the real issues that our world faces. Because it's the issues that we are unaware of that will propose to be the most dangerous ones. Because the livestock industry is responsible for 24% of the total greenhouse gas emissions, which is greater than the whole of the transportation industry, which produces about 14%. It is responsible for 37% of human-induced methane, which is 23 times the warming potential of carbon dioxide. Now, if you think that was bad enough, it is responsible for 65% of nitrous oxide emissions, which is 296 times the warming potential of carbon dioxide. And it stays in our atmosphere for 150 years. Now, during my time in Bukidnon, I had some of the craziest experiences. I learned to ride a horse. I worked with animals and insects. I picked some weeds. And the craziest of them all, I killed a chick to feed the eagle at the farm. Now, all these things and experiences I did in Bukidnon, I would never have imagined of doing in the slightest of my dreams. However, while placing myself outside my comfort zone, I learned to grow an appreciation for the environment. I loved this once-in-a-lifetime experience that I never would have thought of doing. In fact, I loved it so much that I did extensive research to find a project that I could hopefully do in Bukidnon over the summer. And that's where I came across black soldier flies. And with the help of my aunt, we decided I would be doing the Black Soldier Fly project. Now, this project would be so special to me because it's the answers to the reflections that I've been asking myself for just over a year. At their larvae stage, black soldier flies consume twice their body weight of organic food waste, making them natural cleaners of our world and the solution to the issues of garbage all over the Philippines. So, over the summer, I went back to Bukidnon and completed an internship and did my project. At the farm, we used 10,000 larvae to complete the project. They consumed 15 kilos of food waste. However, that was a number that would double and double as they got bigger and bigger. Eventually, they would reach this tipping point where they just eat too much that they can no longer eat. So they want to escape that area they're in and find soil so that they could potentially grow into the flies that they want to become. However, instead of finding soil at the end of the ramp, they'd find a chicken coop where they become the next meal for another chicken. Currently, soy is actually used as the main source of protein for animals. However, due to our excessive production of food, each year we use about 280 hectares of land to produce soy, a number that is increasing. To put that into perspective, that is roughly the size of Germany, France, and the UK combined. Soy is said to be responsible for 91% of the deforestation in the Amazon rainforest. Now, even NASA have said that the single greatest cause of deforestation is animal agriculture. This issue is just one of many issues that we currently have. And each day, we spend time complaining and whining about all these issues that are suddenly appearing. Think about it. How many bad decisions do you make each and every day? Imagine the people in power and the size of the issues that they're reason for. Although now, why don't we take the time to grow an appreciation for all these issues? Why don't we say thank you? Thank you for destroying our wildlife. Thank you for adding more greenhouse gases into our atmosphere. Thank you for destroying our future. Because amidst all these issues, we now have an opportunity. We have an opportunity for more projects like this one that just solves one issue. Just like when I was 5 years old and looked back at the path that I left, the Black Soldier Fly project is the footprint that I am leaving behind. It is the footprint that solves one issue to the many, one that will leave an impact on the world. So now ask yourself this. When you look back at the path that you left behind, what are the footprints that you want to see? Thank you.